I've been singing concerts from a very young age, and the one thing I've noticed looking at the audience is some rasikas are completely immersed in following all the nuance, while others look a little lost, wondering what's happening on the stage. That's what inspired me to do this series. My effort is to help every listener become an informed rasika, so you can truly connect to what the musician is trying to communicate. There's actually so much thought that goes into planning a concert, from the very start to the grand finish. At a broad level, we have Kalpita Sangeetham that is already composed, and there is Manodharma Sangeetham, creativity on the spot. So balancing these two is both an art and a joy. The concert format that we all follow today was beautifully curated by the legendary Sri Ariyakudi Ramanuja, a format that is truly a boon for every Carnatic musician. It lets us entertain the audience as well as give us space to showcase our talent, creativity, tradition and the depth of our music. Through this series, I will walk you through each part of a typical Carnatic music concert, from the Varnam or Playback song, the kritis, Raga, alapana, Kalpanaswaram, Neraval, Thukkadas, tillanas, mangalams and so many other aspects. Many rasikas already know this, but for those who don't, this is for you. And even if you do, I still hope you'll find something new in these videos. My goal is very simple: to help you enjoy every live concert that you attend this December season in a more richer and a meaningful way. So let's dive in, one segment at a time, and together let's decode the magic of a Carnatic concert. Let's start right from the beginning of a Carnatic music concert, the Varnam. So what exactly is a Varnam and why do we always begin with it? A Varnam is like a perfect warm-up, not only for the voice but for the mind and for the audience as well. It helps the artist settle into the Shruti, explore the Raga's flavor and start the concert in an energetic and a lively manner. Varnam is full of beautiful patterns that combine both the Sahithyam and the Swarams in a very balanced manner. It shows both the Raga Bhavam and the rhythmic precision. That's why it is the perfect start for a Carnatic concert, which is brisk, structured and a very engaging manner. You will mostly hear the Varnam in two speeds, one in a slow pace and then the fast pace. And they are usually composed in Aditalam or Atatalam. Some popular concert opening Varnams that you might have heard are Ninnu Kori in Mohanam, Veeri Boni in Bhairavi, Vanajakshi Roi Veera Kalyani, Yavari Bodha in Abogi. Many great composers like Pallavi Gopalayar, Patnam Subramanyayar, Tiruvotiyur Tyagaya and Sri Lalgudi Jayaraman have given us Varnams that are both technically brilliant and full of life. The next time you hear a Varnam at the start of a concert, it's the musician saying, "Alright, let's begin the journey." And that's how every Carnatic concert sets sail, with the Varnam. Stay tuned for the next segment, and together let's decode the magic of a Carnatic concert. Other than Varnams, the Carnatic concert, especially temple concert or wedding concert, may begin with a Playback song. These are songs in praise of Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, and it is considered very auspicious to begin the concert by praying to him. You will find so many beautiful and popular Ganesha songs like Shri Vikna Rajam Bhaje, Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami, Gam Ganapate Namo Nama, Gananadane Gunabodane, Vatapi Ganapatim Bhajeham, Vatapi Ganapatim, Shri Ganapatini, and the list goes on. Each of them has its own charm. Some are very majestic and classical, while others are softer and devotional, but all of them bring that feeling of fresh, divine beginning to a concert. It's almost like invoking blessings before setting off on a musical journey. Now, there are also a few other kinds of songs that may appear at first, not necessarily a Pullayar song, but still fitting as the opening piece, like Shri Nathadi Guru Guho Jayati Jayati Shri, or the Kamakshi Swarajati Amba Kamakshi Amba. But we'll save those for another time. So that's the very start of a Carnatic concert, the humble and divine Pullayar song. Stay tuned for the next segment, and together let's decode the magic of the Carnatic concert. The kriti. If the Varnam sets the stage, the kriti can be said as the soul of the Carnatic concert. So what exactly is a kriti? A kriti is a structured composition, usually with a pallavi, anupallavi, charanam or many charanams, where the composer brings together the raga, sahitya, bhavam, bhakti, all in perfect balance. This is where the emotional core of a Carnatic music concert really shines. In a kacheri, the choice of kritis play a huge role in shaping up the entire experience of the concert. We usually try to bring a variety of composers like Tyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar, Shama Shastri, Swathi Tirunal, Purandaradasa, Papanasam Shivan, Oothukadu Venkatakavi, and so on. We also try to bring in a variety of ragas, a well-known one, a rare one, or contrasting ones with different moods, something like that. We try to bring in a variety in the talam as well, so that there is a rhythmic color and a balance in the kacheri as well. We usually try to bring in a variety of languages. So when we travel to other cities, we see to it that we also include compositions in the local language so that the audience also feels connected with the concert. Varieties of deities or theme, or sometimes the entire concert will be thematic, where the kriti selection follows a specific idea. Kritis form the backbone of a kacheri. They carry the tradition, devotion, the poetry, and set up the perfect base for the Manodharma that follows. Stay tuned for the next segment, where we look at the different types of kritis. And together, let's decode the magic of a Carnatic concert. Alright, let's move to the next layer of a Carnatic kacheri, the different types of kritis. First, a quick note. A kriti and a kirtana are not the same. A kriti is usually more structured and musically elaborate, while a kirtana is more focused on the lyrical beauty and the bhakti or devotion involved in it. And it is said that kritis evolved from kirtanas, which were much older devotional compositions. Now, who creates these kritis? These kritis are composed by Bhagyakaras, the composer who composes both the lyrics and the tune. Our most celebrated Bhagyakaras of our Carnatic music, the Trinity, Sri Tyagaraja, Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar, and Sri Shama Shastri. Each one of them has left us with a treasure chest of precious kritis like the Ganaraga Pancharatnam, Navavarna kritis, Utsava Sampradaya kritis, Vibhakti kritis, Swarajatis, and many more. Other than Bhagyakaras, the compositions of Purandaradasar and Annamacharya are often sung in the Carnatic kacheri with great devotion and respect. Then we also have a vast variety of Tamil compositions from Arunachala Kavi, Marimutta Pillai, Muthu Tandavar, Papanasam Shivan, and many others. There are also kritis from musical dramas like the Ramanataka kritis, Nandanar Charitram, Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam. Then there are many compositions contributed by contemporary composers too. There are also many other compositions that you will find in a Carnatic music kacheri. But I think we'll keep that for another episode when we talk about the Thukkuda. All these together gives us a huge variety of kritis, which gives us a different mood, structure, language, different devotional flavors too. And as musicians, having a wide repertoire is so important because presenting this variety is what brings the color to a concert. In the next segment, we will see how we select a kriti based on the ragas and talas for a kacheri. Stay tuned and together let's continue decoding the magic of a Carnatic concert. Have you ever felt that a kriti that you hear in a Carnatic music concert sounds exactly or somewhat similar to another song that you have heard before in a Carnatic concert? Well, usually that's because they are in the same raga. If you are an informed rasika, you may already be able to guess the raga that is being sung. But this series is for everyone else who wants to learn and enjoy the concerts better. Just for our knowledge, each raga carries its own emotion, own color, and its own personality. So when we plan a kacheri, we try to include ragams with contrasting flavors. Something bright, something meditative, something very playful, or something very majestic, so that the audience experiences the different flavors of emotion throughout the concert. As musicians, we avoid selecting too many ragas from the same Melakarta family because they carry similar phrases and moods. So, variety is the key. It is also exciting and lovely to include one or few rare raga kritis so that the rasikas can explore and experience something refreshing and new. A successful good concert usually includes a good balanced mixture of Pratimadimam ragams, Varja ragams, well-known ragams, Gana ragams, ragams suited for detailed elaborations, and ragams that shine as shorter pieces. Just like ragams, rhythmic variety also matters. We include kritis in different talams and nadais, say Tishra nada, Kanda nada or Mishra nada, and also include kritis in different speeds in Chauka kalam, Madhyama kalam or in Durita kalam. This gives the concert a natural ebb and flow without ever feeling monotonous. And fortunately, our great composers have given us a huge treasure of compositions with so much variety that we can bring all this balance in each and every concert. Next time you listen to a Carnatic concert, play this game. Identify the raga, identify the tala. This also makes you feel involved in the concert and it makes the whole kacheri experience much richer and more fun. In the next episode, we will talk about what you should look for in the lyrical aspect of the kriti, the sahitya, and how it ties into the raga bhavam. And as always, let's keep decoding the magic of a Carnatic concert, one segment at a time. Have you ever felt this? When you listen to a kriti in your own language, you feel instantly connected. But when it's in a different language, you feel little lost or even zoned out sometimes. That's perfectly normal. Carnatic music spans of so many languages. Telugu, Sanskrit, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam. As Rasikas, we may not know all of them. But here's the beautiful part. You can still enjoy so much of the Sahithyam without knowing the language fully. Across South Indian languages, around 30 to 40% of the words are shared or very similar. So just by listening with an open mind, you will understand more than what you think. And beyond words, our composers have filled each kriti with deep bhakti bhavam that don't really need any translations. It just reaches your heart. Another fun way to connect with the Sahithyam would be to look for the mudras, a signature embedded by the composers. Tyagaraja uses Tyagaraja, Dikshitar uses Guru Guha, Shama Shastri uses Shama Krishna, Papanasam Shivan uses Ramadasa, Swati Tirunal uses Padmanabha, and so on. Next time you listen to a kriti, try spotting the mudra, then you will be able to guess the composer right away. Some composers are wonderfully descriptive too. Take Muthuswami Dikshitar. In some of his kritis, he tells about the deity, the sthalam, the iconography, even reference from the Puranas, all hidden within the Sahithyam. Just listening up to it closely can open up a whole new world. And if you listen even more carefully, you'll notice the lyrical ornaments too. Rhyming phrases, yamakas. The same word is used with different meanings. Like Kamala in the song Kamalambam Bajare, which has 4 different meanings. Poetic yati, like Gopuchayati or Shrotobahayati in Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam. These are all hidden gems in the Sahithyam, and once you start noticing them, it adds a whole new layer of beauty to the kriti. And of course, when a kriti is in your own language, don't hesitate. Dive into the Sahithyam, relish the poetry, the imagery, the emotion. If you are curious, try reading the meaning later. It will deepen your experience even more. And as always, let's keep decoding the magic of a Carnatic concert, one segment at a time. So far in the series, we have seen Varnam and Krithis, which is also known as Kalpita Sangeetham, the one which is already composed. So now let's move on to the next half of our Carnatic music, that is the Manodharma Sangeetham or Kalpana Sangeetham, the creative aspects of our Carnatic music. Raga alapana, pure improvisation of the raga without any rhythm or lyrics. This is where the musician paints out the mood and the personality of the raga. Neraval, improvisation on a single line of a kriti, keeping the same lyrics but exploring different melodic patterns within the talam and the ragam. Kalpanaswaram, creative swaram patterns sung for a line in the kriti, showing the artist's rhythmic skills and musical precision. Next comes the Viritam, free-flowing verses sung without any rhythm, but it is full of emotional expression, usually sung in one ragam or as ragamalika. Tanam, rhythmic pulsating improvisation within a raga, which usually leads into a pallavi. Next comes the Ragam Tanam Pallavi, the grand centerpiece of the Manodharma Sangeetham, where melody, rhythm, creativity and mastery all come together. Each of these forms are unique, and the beauty is that they are never the same even twice. The depth of Carnatic music not only lies in presenting the Kalpita Sangeetham with all its nuances and the devotional intent of the composer, but also in expressing their own imagination, skill and individuality through Manodharma. This is what makes every concert different, even for the same artist on different days. And it's also what makes our job as musicians both exciting and challenging, because we have to be at our creative best every single time we step on stage. In the coming episodes, we'll explore each of these forms of Manodharma and see how you as Rasikas can enjoy this even more during a concert. Stay tuned. Let's keep decoding the magic of Carnatic Kacheri, one segment at a time. Let's move to the first major pillar of Manodharma Sangeetham, the Raga alapana. A Raga alapana is slow, free-flowing, lyric-less exploration of a raga. There is no tala, there is no rhythm cycle, just pure melody. It usually comes before a kriti in the same raga and sets up the emotional tone for the entire piece. The alapana begins with a soft introduction. It is almost like as if the musician is telling you, these are the notes, this is the personality of the raga, and this is the color. From there, the musician gradually develops the raga from the lower, middle and then the upper octaves using characteristic phrases and gamakas that defines the raga's grammar. In most of the concerts nowadays, you will listen to 2 to 3 raga alapanas, anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. And after the vocalist finishes, the violin, flute or the veena vidwan offer their own spontaneous interpretation of the raga, making it a beautiful dialogue on stage. Now, how do you enjoy a raga alapana better as a listener? You may start by noticing how different artists approach the same raga differently. Some artists may explore the lower octave first, slowly unfolding the raga like a sunrise. Some may immediately reveal the raga's rakti, those beautiful bhakti-filled phrases that defines the soul of the raga. Some artists focus on slow, weighty sangadis, letting each and every note breathe, while others may use fast, briga-based phrases to show the raga's sparkle and energy. In some alapanas, it will be like a journey across the octaves, almost like a well-planned story. In others, you may hear familiar phrases from different compositions of the same raga, and that familiarity feels instantly comforting. And many artists build up to a grand finish or a climax that resolves beautifully to the base sajjam. That's the moment where your appreciation truly matters. If you enjoy it, show it generously. A well-timed applause means the world to an artist because it tells them that you have traveled along with them in that beautiful musical journey. The more you listen, the more these patterns get enjoyable. And suddenly, Raga Alapana won't feel abstract at all. You'll begin to hear its personality, its story, and its emotion. In the next episode, we will explore the next big pillar of Manodharma Sangeetham, Kalpanaswaram. Let's keep decoding the magic of Carnatic music, one segment at a time. Now let's move into the next exciting pillar of Manodharmam, the Kalpanaswaram. Kalpanaswaram are improvised swara pattern sung after a line of a kriti, usually the pallavi or a line from the charanam, which ends with a very strong landing called the edipa. They always stay strictly within the raga and within the tala, but the creativity is completely spontaneous. We usually begin with the slow-paced swarams, exploring the raga gently, then gradually moves into the faster patterns, building the momentum and the energy. One of the most exciting part of singing the Kalpanaswaram, I would say, is the koraipa. The koraipa is when the musician reduces the length of the swara patterns step by step. For example, from 8 aksharas to 6 to 4, then to 2, all beautifully resolving back to the exact edipo of the song. This reduction and landing game creates immense delight as well as tension. And then comes the grand finish or the korva, a final well-crafted swara passage which is very powerful and perfectly timed as well. This is where the audience feel that, what a great ending. So as lay rasikas, how can you enjoy this Kalpanaswaram? Listen for the landing point. Every swara passage must return back to the same start of the lyrics. Notice the build-up. Slow, then medium, then fast, the koraipa, and then the grand ending. Enjoy the pattern. Even if you don't know the math behind it, you will feel the rhythm tightening and releasing. Observe the coordination between the singer, violin, and the rhythm section. It is purely teamwork in real time. Once you start noticing these layers, Kalpanaswaram becomes one of the most thrilling part of a Carnatic music concert. In the next episode, we'll look at the Neraval, a perfect blend of melody, bhava, and rhythmic creativity. As always, let's keep decoding the magic of a Carnatic music concert, one segment at a time. Now let's look at another beautiful form of Manodharma and Carnatic music, the Neraval. What is Neraval? Neraval is the art of taking a single line from a kriti and improvising it both melodically and rhythmically while keeping the original lyrics intact. No new words, no swaras, just that one line explored creatively within the raga and tala. You usually find the Neraval in the main piece right before the Kalpanaswaram, and as a rasika, you can detect it easily. You'll suddenly hear the same line being repeated, but with different melodic patterns and ideas each time. So how do musicians choose the line for Neraval? This matters a lot. Many compositions have famous lines in both Anupallavi and Charanams that lends themselves beautifully to Neraval. We usually pick a line that is lyrically meaningful, emotionally uplifting, structurally suitable for rhythmic play. For example, in Banturiti, the line Ramanamamane Varakadkamivi is a classic Neraval line, positive, devotional, and apt for elaboration. Next, how can you enjoy the Neraval as a listener? First, try to spot the line that is being repeated. Usually, it appears in the main piece or the sub-main piece of the concert. Notice how each repetitions bring different melodic ideas while still fitting perfectly in the tala. And listen for the build-up. It usually starts slow, expands creatively, and gradually intensifies before leading onto the Kalpanaswaram. The more familiar you are with the kritis, the more easier and enjoyable the Neraval becomes. It's truly where a musician's imagination shines. In the next episode, we shall look into the most awaited part of a typical Carnatic music concert, the Thukkadas. Stay tuned. Let's continue to decode the magic of Carnatic concert, one segment at a time. Now we come to the final segment of a Carnatic Kacheri, the Thukkuda. This is the most Janaranjaga part of the concert, filled with lighter, lively, audience-friendly pieces that leaves you with a sense of joy and completeness. But just before we enter the Thukkadas, there is a very important element, the Taniyavartanam. This is the percussion solo where the Mridangam artist and the other percussion vidwans display their artistry. As Rasikas, it is important that we listen to it fully, not walk out, because it is a mark of respect for the accompanying artist who not only contributes to the concert but also elevates it. Now, the Thukkuda segment is also beautifully diverse. You may hear popular devotional pieces like Kurai Ondrum Illai Maraimurti Kanna Enna Tavam Seidhanai Theerada Vilayattu Pillai. Divine verses like Tiruppugal, Thiruvempaavai or Tiruppaavai, Tarangams by Sri Narayana Tirthar from his Krishna Leela Tarangini, Govardhana Giridhara Govinda Gokula Palaka, or the Padam and Javalis rooted in the Shringara Rasa, or the energetic rhythmic compositions called the Tillanas. Deem deem tananana deem deem tananana deem 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 tanana dillana dillana nadradeem 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 tanana dillana dillana nadradeem deem. Or the patriotic songs. Aaduvome pallu paaduvome Shanti nilava vendum. Bhajans, slokas, nritam or even small abhangs depending on the artist and the occasion. Most of these are familiar tunes that we have grown up listening at home, which is why this portion feels warm, nostalgic and immediately relatable. And finally the concert concludes with the Mangala, a peaceful benediction that sends everyone home with a sense of completion and gratitude. Stay tuned for the last and final episode of the series as we continue to decode the magic of a Carnatic music concert. So far in the series, we have taken a guided walk through the most important segments of a Carnatic music concert step by step. We begin with the Varnam, which sets the pitch, rhythm and energy for the concert. We then explore the kritis, the very soul of the kacheri. where Raga, Bhava, Sahithyam and Bhakti all come together. We also looked at different types of kritis, the composers behind them, and how thoughtful selection brings variety and color to a concert. We spoke about raga selection and how contrasting moods, flavors and structure shape the listener's experience. We also touched upon Sahithyam and how lyrics, bhakti, poetry and subtle literary beauty add deeper layer of enjoyment even across languages. From there we entered the world of Manodharma Sangeetham, the creative heart of Carnatic music. Raga alapana, where the raga's personality unfolds. Neraval, where melody and meaning come together. Kalpanaswaram, where rhythm, structure and spontaneity meet. And finally the lighter, audience-friendly Thukkadas that brings joy, familiarity and a closure to a concert. Now it's important to remember that we have only looked at each segment on a very high level. Every one of these topics can be explored much deeper and over multiple episodes. But this series was meant to be a primer, especially for new Rasikas, to give you a broad mental map so that when you attend a concert, you know where you are and what to listen for. The goal of this series has been very simple: to demystify Carnatic music, to remove the fear of not knowing enough, and to help everyone enjoy concerts more deeply and confidently. If there's any topic from the series that you would like to explore further, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to dive deeper in the future videos. And if you found this series useful, do share it with your fellow Rasikas and do share your own concert experience from this December season. Thank you for listening, and let's continue celebrating the magic of Carnatic music together.